Hey everybody, I hope I am live. I am way out of practice doing Facebook Lives. I'll bet a lot of you out there thought maybe Charisse Tyson just fell off the face of the earth. It's been a long time since I checked in with anybody. I sold Johnny's at the end of March, and I walked away on April 1st and have not put my foot back in the door since. I spent 22 years there and a quarter, and God made sure that that last quarter was one of the toughest of my life, so that my disconnection from the place that had my heart for so many years would be easier to take. So I walked away, and I can't even tell you what I did for April and May. I guess I just got busy. But then in June, I broke my ankle. We were up at our property up in Shingletown, California, and I was on my walk, and I just stepped on some stupid pine needles, and down I went. And I had to make that dreaded phone call to my husband saying, I've fallen and I can't get up. And I got to tell you, I don't know if you've ever broken a bone before. 58 years old, I'd never broken a bone. I'd give birth to 6 children before I'd go through that pain again. It was that bad. It was a wild and crazy time, and it happened just before Tommy and I were planning on leaving to go across country. It was a trip that I planned actually for a year and a half, and I said, if I don't even sell Johnny's, I'm still going. But God had a plan, and so we took off for a year. Felt like a year sometimes. 2 people in a 40-foot motorhome, let me tell you. And one with a broken ankle. I went up in June, and the whole plan was to just plan our 25th wedding anniversary party with my husband and get things in order for that, and I was going to come back home. Well, I went up there and broke my ankle, and then I was stuck in that motorhome, just me and my husband. And I can tell you, if we could get through that, we could get through anything. It was a little touch and go, and it was a little rough at times, but we got through it. And we had a beautiful, wonderful 25th wedding anniversary party. And guess what? My husband planned the whole thing, because after the ankle break, I was worthless. So he did it all by himself. And if that hadn't happened to me, it's one of the things that came out of my ankle break was knowing that my husband can do things without my help. And he did a fabulous job, and it was wonderful. So it did complicate our cross-country trip. We spent, I think, at least a week and a half in Medford. Wasn't planned that way, but I had doctor's appointments and physical therapy and all kinds of things, and my ankle got infected, and it was hell for a while. So I saw most of the country using a knee scooter. I saw Yellowstone, which was absolutely fantastic, and used a knee scooter. And Niagara Falls, got to see a lot of that with a knee scooter. We couldn't get wet. I had to find a spot on the boat where I could stay dry, because my ankle still had to stay dry. So all that, everybody that knows me knows I'm a sun worshiper, and I like being by the pool. I like being in the water, and well, got to fix my wagon on that one, because I didn't get to do any of that. So, and it kept me from asking Tommy to let's go zip line and things that he probably wouldn't have wanted to do anyway. So it all worked out, and we had a fabulous trip. I'm going to be writing about it because it was just so wonderful. And I can't tell you how many people we met on the road that said, you know, we need them at a dinner or somewhere, or just at the RV park, and they were there for the weekend. They said, this is something I said I always wanted to do, and I never got to do it. So it was fabulous. And for those of you who went along with me on Facebook on a road trip, and I heard lots of wonderful things from y'all. I see y'all, we spent a little time in Texas and other places over there, and you just tend to take on their accents and what have you. Anyway, it was fabulous, and by the time we came home, I was kind of finally ready. We did 25 states, stayed in 37 RV parks, stayed with 3 friends and family, and spent roughly $4,400 on fuel. I haven't added up what all the parks cost and this and that yet, but so many people say it's something they've always wanted to do, that I definitely want to write an ebook and share with everybody what all was involved. And it was a wonderful, blessed thing. That crazy thing is, when Tommy and I first got together, you know, almost 30 years ago, actually, we just had our 29th, not wedding anniversary, but getting together anniversary at the end of October. And we said one day we're going to get in a motorhome and go cross country. So what a wonderful blessing to be able to do that. So we did, and it was great. And I haven't been back to Johnny's yet. I can't say, it's just a little surreal when you have so much of your heart is in something for that long. I have heard Pete has done wonderful things with the place, made lots of great improvements. And when the heart's right and the head's right, I'll go check it all out. But right now it's still just a little bit weird for me. So, but the great thing is I don't have to worry about anybody but me. And for the first time since I was 10 years old, I helped my mom raise my brothers. She was a single mother since I was 10. I was pregnant with Alan at 16. And then I married an alcoholic, which you basically raise your alcoholic if you're a control freak like me. And I had all those people at the bar that I was responsible for. So for the first time in my life, I'm not responsible for anybody but me. And I got to tell you, it's fabulous. It's a dream come true. I'm really enjoying it. And I'm just so blessed to have been able to share so much of my life with so many wonderful people in Hollister. And I'm actually going to go out to the ale house and do their paint night on Wednesday to see some old friends and some faces I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm looking forward to that. But one of the reasons I came to you tonight was I want to remind you to vote and to tell you how important it is. And to remind you that if you're one of my friends that, you know, wanted to disown me when I voted for Trump the first time around, I would do it again. I love you, but we should be able to just vote for our hearts and our conscience without everybody getting so mad. And this whole thing with the media they're fueling this hatred and angst, and it just makes me sad. And, you know, I'm praying things go my way tomorrow, and if they don't, you know, I'm not going to be disappointed in my folks out there that didn't vote the same way I did. I mean, we're all people just trying to get along, and we all have our own ideas. So, you know, I never seen anything so crazy in all my life. And I was one of those people that I didn't vote till I was in my 40s when I had my, you know, came back to God in my life. And then I decided that it was, you know, a civic duty as well as a Christian duty, because you can't just complain about stuff if you don't get out there and vote. And sometimes it feels like your vote doesn't matter, and sometimes it's really confusing. Say, for instance, daylight savings time. It's 7 o'clock. It was pitch black at least an hour. And I came across that one, and I'm like, how do I vote this? Is it going to make it any better if they don't have daylight savings time in California? I don't know. So you know, you just sometimes you just got to go with your heart and your gut and make your choices. So I am praying for some big miracles in this whole situation. And Sunday, we prayed for our country. It's what we did at church, the entire service. And my pastor had some wonderful things to share with us, and so I was going to share some of those. We prayed for our nation and issues it faces, and we prayed that our nation will increasingly see that God is our only refuge in the midst of troubles of this world. And pastor had scriptures for some of this stuff. So I'm going to read you Psalm 46:1. God is our refuge and our strength, a tested help in times of trouble. And so we need not fear, even if the world blows up and the mountains crumble to the sea. Because guess what? Somebody else is in charge. And if it weren't for knowing that in my heart and soul, I would be losing my mind right now, because this country's just gotten a little bit crazy. So we also prayed for, and we all should do this, is our judicial system and lawmakers, that justice for all, tempered by mercy and compassion, will guide our nation. That's absolutely huge. We prayed for that. And then we asked the Lord to pour out a spirit of repentance on our nation, that we might become a nation committed to following his ways. Oh, I forgot to read you John 8:32. Ooh-doo-doo. Sorry, I marked them and somehow lost it here. 32. I cannot believe I lost that. Oh, yes. And that one is real easy. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That's a very important one. And in Jeremiah 29:13 says, you will find me when you seek me, if you look for me in earnest. And I hope that when you sit down to vote, that you do, if you're a Christian, talk to God about those decisions. And that's all you can do. You have to ask for guidance and believe that you're receiving it. So we also prayed for the election process, candidates and leaders. And we prayed for wisdom for voters and a safe and fair election. We need a safe and fair election. This stuff of going out and breaking up stuff if the election doesn't go your way, this supposedly signing people up that are dead to vote, or people that aren't here legally voting, all that stuff's just got to go. We're praying for a safe and fair election. Let things go the way they're supposed to go. And to that, he had Proverbs 3:21-23, which says, oh, that's not it. I thought I had this down, you guys. Okay, you have two goals: wisdom, that is knowing and doing right, and common sense. Don't let them slip away, for they will fill you with living energy and are a feather in your cap. They keep you safe from defeat and disaster and stumbling off the trail. With them on your guard, you can sleep without fear. You need not be afraid of disaster or plots of wicked men, for the Lord is with you and he protects you. And I got to tell you, I wouldn't sleep if I wasn't sure of that, because things have just gotten a little bit crazy. And we also prayed that the Lord would remove those who might try to unjustly and illegally change the outcome of the voting process. And to that, he referred to Isaiah. Where do we go here, Charisse? Sorry, I'm not as organized as I thought I was. All these bookmarks, but I can't remember which one I went to. Isaiah 28:17 says, I will take the line and plummet of justice to check the foundation wall you built. It looks fine, but it is so weak that a storm and a hail will knock it down. The enemy will come and flood and sweep it away, and you will be drowned. Now, I don't see, wait a minute here, I must have read the wrong one. 28:17. Yeah, that's it. So in other words, we need a strong foundation. And if not, this country is going to go to hell in a handbag. We need unity. We need love. And I really was thrilled that the pastor really he kind of wrang our neck, actually, the Sunday before, and told us that, in this world, Christians have lost their salt and light. And that's what we're called to be, as the salt and light of the earth. And that so many people are seeing us just as judgmental and homophobic and all those crazy things, that they're just, it's not what we want them to see. We want them to see love. We want them to see, there's that word tolerance has gone a little bit too crazy, if you ask me. Being tolerant of everything, I don't think is a good thing. You can disagree with people and pray for them and just treat them right. Whether you agree or not, you just have to treat them right. Doesn't mean that you agree with them. So we also prayed that the Lord would remove all envy and selfish ambition. And because let's face it, that's what this has come down to. I mean, these guys, most of them are not doing the job without some kind of selfish ambition. Let's face it, look at all these senators been in there for years and years and years. And it's gotten crazy. The lobbyists and it's selfish ambition. These guys are making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and even after they're out of office, we're still paying their way. And meanwhile, they keep crapping on us. So I'm going to read to you from James 3:16, which says, "For wherever there is jealousy or selfish ambition, there will be disorder and every other kind of evil." And wow, that's exactly what's going on right now. So I'm praying for some guys to get in there who want to be in office to help us all, and to not just make a buck on our back, and just to get the fame and to see that things go their way. So we also prayed for a spirit of humility in the church and an outreach towards those the Bible calls the least among us, who homeless. The homeless situation's really sad, and we need to do everything we can. And the government wasn't supposed to take care of everybody. That wasn't the plan when they put together the Declaration of Independence and all that stuff. It was the churches actually used to take care of the orphans and the widows and the needy people. And we've gotten way away from that. But there are many wonderful churches out there doing stuff in places you don't even know and helping a lot of people. And so I hope that Christians will really continue to step up to the plate and do what we can. So find someone to, contribute to. Don't necessarily, know if it's the Red Cross or whatever. I try to do a lot of studying up to see, how much money's going to the people that are running the charities, but do your part to help out. So we also thank the Lord for the freedom we have in Him and the wisdom to understand that freedom. And scripture for that is in Galatians 5:13 says, find that sucker, I know it's here somewhere. "For dear brothers, you have been given freedom, not freedom to do wrong, but freedom to love and serve one another." And I'm going to finish with 14, which says, "For the whole law can be summed up in this one commandment: love others as you love yourself." And boy, if we could just get to doing that and not being selfish and putting ourselves first, it'd be a whole better world. So I'm also praying for a spirit of compassion to come over the church in this nation so we can seriously begin to live out the lifestyle of Jesus in our communities. That was a wonderful, wonderful thing Pastor wrote there. And I'm asking the Lord to bring revival to the church in America, because we've seen things slipping away here. And, even if you're not Christian, you got to see the correlation. The more they take God out of the country, the more it stinks. Let's bring back the love, and let's all get out there and vote. And you know what? If you don't vote the way I vote, I still love you. I have lots of friends that are pretty liberal, and I lost a few, like I said, when I voted for Trump. But you got to vote your heart and your conscience, and you got to vote biblically. Okay, that's the thing. If you're a Christian, you need to vote biblically. So you just go by your values. And if more people would just vote their values, we would have a better country. But too many of us Christians got apathetic, and we let things happen like, take prayer out of school was the first one back in the 50s. And, all of our wonderful, wonderful government places had all these monuments that have all kinds of references to biblical values. And now they just want to take them all down. And, you know, the Ten Commandments is not allowed in front of a public. What can be, anybody complain about the Ten Commandments? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, don't commit adultery. I mean, come on, people. Just live the word, and you won't know what it is if you don't get it out once in a while. And I got to tell you, it's a wonderful thing. And for those of you who join me once in a while, Love Notes from the Lord, I hope that you continue to do that and that you invite people to join us. And you got to get out there and vote, and you got to vote your heart and your values. And if your friends don't vote the way you do, don't get all twisted in a knot. I got to admit, I can get a little crazy watching the TV set. And I'm going to be honest, when Obama and Hillary are on there, I don't even care to look at their faces. That's the honest to God truth. And as Christians, we are called to pray for our nation and the people running it. And I had a real hard time praying for Obama. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a real hard time. And I have no problem at all praying for Trump. And I think a lot of people are praying for him because, let's face it, God uses the foolish to confound the wise. And he is not a dumb person, but sometimes his tweets make me want to slap him. It's like, but you know what? God's using him. That's the way I see it. So, you know, if you don't agree with me, I'm sorry. You got to get out there and vote and do your part. And I pray that we won't see all the crazy, nutty violence we saw in 2016. If things don't go your way, you know, you got to get past it. I didn't vote for Obama twice, and I wasn't happy when he was elected. I didn't go, you know, throwing rocks through windows at liquor stores and grocery stores. And what is up with that stuff? So, you know, if you are a Democrat and you want to vote for your party, you go vote for it. But you get out there and you encourage your other Democratic friends to not get violent and crazy. And don't be mean. Just vote your heart and love your friends, whether they vote the way you did or not. You know, you gotta, we're supposed to love people. We are called to love others as we love ourselves. And some of us have a hard time loving ourselves, and that can interfere with how you love others. But when you get right with yourself and right with God, it's real easy to love others. Well, not always easy, I gotta say. There's a few out there I have a hard time with, but with God's help, we gotta be salt and light, people. I'm gonna be honest, I hope to see a red wave. I'm gonna say that if Mr. Cox actually gets elected the governor of California, that I'm gonna think it's an act of God, because that's it. I mean, it'll be a miracle in my book, and I will be one happy camper. And I'm hoping that if you wanted Gavin Newsom, that you don't, you know, go out and break up the place because he didn't get in and call it unfair and fixed and all that stuff. You know, we're all just getting out there and doing what we're supposed to do. So I hope that if you didn't already vote, that you get out there and vote tomorrow. Hello, wrong side. I vote absentee because I like to study them. And I hope that you guys get out there and vote and have a blessed day. And it's already evening. And I hope to see you soon because I'm back in town. I love you guys, and have a blessed evening.